Hi, this video is for anyone who's new both to Call of Duty and Advanced Warfare on the 360 or any other platform as well. And it's specifically for people who want to get better at Team Deathmatch on Advanced Warfare Online. And if you're tired of getting your butt kicked but aren't sure where to start, this could be the video for you.
UAV ready.
Okay, so in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare Team Deathmatch, something that can make a massive, well, that does make a massive difference, I think, is your class, your loadouts, if you like. So let's take a look at what I run with. And I run with, at the moment, two main guns. I run with the BAL 27 and the ASM 1. They're just the base variants, and then I have various bits attached to them. I would say that the BAL is probably the one to start off with because it's pretty accurate. It's easy to handle. It's better at medium to longer ranges, and it just seems like a better starter gun when you first get into the game. And the ASM, being a submachine gun and not an assault rifle like the BAL, is much better at close to medium range. But anything longer than that can be tricky, and it can be a bit of a handful. So I would say start off with a BAL and sort of soup it up with the different attachments. So let's look at my BAL setup first. So if we go into the BAL, obviously we've got a BAL 27, and then I use the stock. Now the stock is great for improving your mobility while aiming down sight. So basically you can strafe left and right and move faster with the stock on. And then I use two front grips. I use the foregrip and the quick draw grip. The quick draw grip is self-explanatory, to whip it out faster to try and win gunfights. And the foregrip is there to reduce recoil, so especially at longer ranges. And I mean, with the BAL 27, at very long ranges, sniper rifle ranges, I think, as long as you can pick out your enemy and they're not moving, you can hit them with a BAL with these things. You'll notice I don't run with a secondary gun at all because I think that just slows you down. And then if we look at my perks, I run low profile, so they can't see you on the minimap. Incredibly important that if they can't see you coming, you're going to stay alive much longer. Lightweight, so I can run around fast. Again, in Modern Warfare, in Advanced Warfare, things move so fast. You've got to always think that someone's either chasing you or there's a sniper trying to get bead on you, so you want to be moving quickly around the map. Blind Eye, I think, is another really important one. And with Blind Eye, what that means is you're invisible to things like sentry guns, drones, the paladins. They just can't see. Well, if it's manually controlled, they can see you, but if it's an automatic one, they can't see you. And especially automatic guns, automatic sentry guns, it's so good just to be able to run up to them, punch them, and get rid of them. And then my final perk 3 is the blast suppressor. And what this does is when you're boosting around the map, those boosts don't appear on the minimap. So that's really, really good. Exo ability, Exo overclock I do, and what that does is that speeds you up for a short amount of time. And I keep one launcher, which is the Semtex, which I use in specific situations. You might want to go with the normal grenade. I like the Semtex because it sticks to things, and it's always a great pleasure in Team Deathmatch to stick a Semtex onto somebody and then see them run around, hopefully into their teammates, and blow them up too. I only go with one score streak at the moment. That's the UAV. And if we look at the mods I put on it, go with support. Always go with support as soon as you can, because support means that as you die, the points that you're making up stay being added up. So it may be that, when you first started off, you may only get one UAV per match. But at least you'll get one. You kind of feel like you're contributing to your team, and having a UAV up in the air definitely helps. And then I run with extra time, so it's up there for longer. Threat detection is a really good one to add on to that because you can see enemies through walls and stuff, but it's another 300, so it becomes a very expensive score streak. But do remember that with the UAV, if they're running lightweight, you won't be able to see them. So don't rely on it completely. Now you may be saying, well, wait a minute, to start off with, how can I can't choose all these things, it won't let me. And an example of this, if we go to, say, my AK, which I haven't used for a while. As you can see, if I try and go into the attachments, I can't use the stock, I can't use the quick draw grip or the foregrip. But as you highlight the box, you'll see over on the left hand side, it tells you what you've got to do. So if I want to get the foregrip for the AK, I need to get 10 kills while aiming down the sights. So all you do is when you're in a match, whether it be a team deathmatch or domination or something else, just mucking around, just concentrate on aiming down the sights and getting 10 kills. Quick draw grip, get 10 headshot kills. So again, practice doing that, in a real game though. And then to get the stock, it's quite tricky, the stock, 20 hip fire kills. So you've got to shoot people. But that's how you basically ramp up your attachments. Now, other things like the perks that you can get at different times all depends on the level you are. So as you're playing Advanced Warfare, and you work your way through the game, you get more points, and you change rank, don't you? You'll have seen that happening already until you get to 50. And as you go up through the levels, different things become available to you. So when you go in and you'll look at the perks, let's go into this one and have a look. It's a bit of an odd one, this one, because I'm at level 50 now. I can get hold of anything because I'm about to sort of throw all those points away and prestige. But that's the BAL. So I would say start off with the BAL, get it souped up with all those attachments, and it's a good kind of all-rounder. And the kind of style you have when you start off, where you're kind of going around a bit slow because you're not that sure about your exo movements, it can be a really good weapon. Then the ASM. Now the ASM is definitely my favourite weapon now. The enemies that I'm coming up against now in the matches, because with the idea with skill-based matchmaking is that, in games, is as you get better, so do your opponents. The BAL doesn't always cut it, especially in smaller maps, say like Comeback is a really good example of that. Or what else is there? Any of the smaller maps, Solar, the ASM, really rocks it. And then what I put on it, I put the advanced rifling to improve the range and the accuracy. I put the foregrip on, again, to try and control some of that recoil, because this thing can jump around, and a quick draw grip. So when I'm in that situation where I'm face to face, I can whip out and blast my enemies. And I go with exactly the same attachments. Low profile, so I don't appear on the minimap. Lightweight, so I can move fast. And when you're running with a submachine gun, you can move very, very fast indeed. Blind eye, so I'm invisible to sentry guns and drones and stuff like that. Blast suppressor. Exo overclock to speed me up to get me into the battle or out of problems. Semtex again, because you'll see a bit where I talk about ways that you can use grenades. And I find that Semtex is the most useful one. Again, it's not available straight away. As you level up, you'll find that becomes available. And then the only score streak I run with is the UAV, but again, I put support on it so that any points I earn towards it, add up even if I die, and I have extra time on it as well. So there we go. So they're my two weapons, the BAL and the ASM. I'd recommend that, as you become kind of a better gunfighter, you may well to decide to forego some of these perks or attachments because you might want more score streaks. But I would say to start off with, you definitely want to be concentrating on improving your gunplay. Because what we're trying to avoid in all of this is something that's referred to as the paralysis of choice. Because with this kind of setup, with the BAL or the ASM, where you're basically running a machine gun, a submachine gun or an assault rifle, they're both fully automatic though, with one score streak, you haven't really got any choices about what you're going to do, as you're running around. In most situations, when you see an enemy on the screen, all you're going to do is you're going to start firing at them. If you're very, very close though, you're either going to start firing them or you're going to punch them. Or maybe you're going to run away. You don't have to worry about whipping out a secondary weapon. You don't have to worry about whether you're trying to build up to a big score streak for a bombing run or a special suit or something like that. It's all just about killing people with your machine gun. And again, as you get faster and more accurate, you may want to experiment with different setups. Say a different gun. Like at the moment, a gun that I'm really liking is the IMR. Really enjoy shooting with that, and probably after I've prestiged, I'll probably use the IMR rather than the BAL for a while, just to try and get used to it. And you may want to change your perks as well. So you might want to put on toughness. Now the beauty with toughness is that one stops you flinching quite as much when you get shot, which is very, very good. So when you're a face-to-face gun fight and you're both firing at each other, as soon as you get hit, your gun jumps and one or two of your bullets will probably miss. But with toughness, they don't. You might want to put on hardwired so that when there's a system hack, that doesn't affect you, which can be very, very useful indeed. But don't muck around too much. I think if you follow this basic setup, you can't go wrong. And again, it doesn't give you too much choices in what you've got to do. You've got to run around the map, shooting at people, lobbing the odd grenade, and that's about it. And the other thing I say as well is, as your skill level improves, certain perks or attachments and guns will become less helpful. So your loadout will change. So, for example, with me at the moment, just about to prestige for the second time, I found that the BAL has become less useful for me in most of the matches that I come across. I tend to end up switching to the ASM. Whereas when I was starting off, the BAL, that was the gun. I just used the BAL all the time, and it was very, very good at all. But as far as the different classes go, I would say start with the BAL, because that's really good for medium to long range maps. Then build up the ASM as well, and they're your two choices. Use the ASM for close maps and the BAL for longer ones. And as you become more adept at moving faster around the map and understanding where players tend to go, you'll probably find yourself developing a style that will favour one particular type of gun. And again, I'll say again, for me at the moment, it's the ASM, because it's a quick killer up close and gives you the mobility to run around the map real fast. But, you know, the problem with the ASM is you've got little chance of winning long-range gunfights unless you're very, very lucky or very, very accurate. So there we go. That's our quick look at classes. And next up, we're going to look at the 4-step practice and warm-up routine.